All right, we are back doing another episode of The Map. I don't even know what we're calling this thing. I'm just calling it The Map, right? Talking about one of the probably fastest growing areas in DFW and quickly becoming, I don't want to call it unaffordable, but I'd call it growing, I guess.
It is in very high demand.
Yeah. So today we're going to do Celina. We're going to talk about all the things going on in Celina, the new construction stuff, what it might look like on a payment, and it's going to be good because, Jared, you've written a lot of loans recently in Celina, right?
I have. Yeah. It's the outer perimeter is where, as far as new construction, where the land is, if anything, more prevalent, more affordable. There's a lot of new construction in that outer bound.
Yeah.
And 380.
Listen, I don't even want to talk about 380 because here's the thing. If you don't know, like, if you're moving here and you are like looking to get into Celina, so this right here, this is 380. This is hell. I'm just going to straight up call it that. Like every time we drive down 380, there's so much traffic and so much construction because this is where all of the development, like all of the HEB, the Costco, and like Prosper, like all of this is where it grew. So from basically here on 75 all the way down, there is construction.
Yeah.
On 380.
Yeah.
And it makes this northern piece of the Metroplex kind of a nightmare at times if you're trying to get out of it. Like if you're content in just staying here, you're fine.
Yeah. And there's a lot up there.
Oh,
like you said.
And there's still a ton more coming in. Like HEB has built a couple of stores down here on 380. They have land in Celina, so they're going to open another one. Costco just opened up there. So lots of options. But at some point, we have to start asking the question, as people go north on 75, we're just going to annex Oklahoma.
We're already in lower Oklahoma.
Yes.
I feel like 380 should have been the official state borders.
Yes. So for reference, so Celina is down here. You keep coming so Windstar is Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma's there, and Oklahoma is right there, right as you cross the Red River. So yeah, southern Oklahoma, North Texas.
It's lower Oklahoma.
Yeah, lower Oklahoma, but Celina. So I've had a lot of people that want to buy in Celina, and I think part of why they do is because the school district is just growing, right? Like that's what drives a lot of people, especially families, is they want that good schooling, the good. See, I didn't even get good schooling. That's bad grammar.
You ain't got no good grammar?
I ain't got no good grammar, no. So that's what's driving a lot of growth up here. So I think it's always important as we look. So Niche is a great website to look at. Right now, they're rating out as a B. The other one that I like to look at is Texas School. So this is a little subjective because this gets so heavily handed based on STAR testing and public, state testing, which is not what we love. But if I'd have told you 10 years ago Celina was going to have a 5,300 student population, you wouldn't believe it.
No.
I mean, and it will be 10,000 in the next.
It will. And the cool thing about it is when you look at Texas and the schools that are here and have been here forever, and you look at the size of them, Allen, for example, and the talent that they have in some of their athletics.
Yep.
When you have a new area like Prosper, like Celina, they can plan ahead and say, hey, instead of building for the population today, we know what it's going to look like. We know the land that's already been sold for development. We know all these huge master plans. Let's just build it now.
Yeah.
So they've got massive stadiums for sports. Their
fine arts.
Their science and their math and their technology is all just phenomenal. So it's a thought of build it and they will come, and they have. So yeah.
Well, and so many of these school districts have invested so heavily in the STEM, the CTE, all the stuff. And I was like, man, if that stuff would have existed when I was in school, I might have ended up in a different spot.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it's also interesting to see their growth comparative to some of, going back to the map, right? Their growth comparative to the Prospers, or even something a little bit more eastward of this, like Van Alstyne, Anna, Melissa, which we'll have to cover in another video. But in talking to some of the people here that we've seen versus Anna, one of the things I thought was interesting. So Anna, and if you don't know this, people in North Texas, athletics drives a lot of decision-making for good or bad. So Anna chose to not expand to 2 high schools, because they wanted to consolidate all of their talent.
Yep.
Right. And it was actually a big deal. Like the superintendent, I think, left because of that. So Celina's not there yet, but they're kind of making those decisions now for the next 10 to 15 years. I will say one of the things we always talk about in affordability, and we'll get there on the calculator, is property taxes, right? And so that's always kind of like, it plays a massive factor in payment. And so one of the downsides to me for Celina, like the city of Celina, is the base level property tax is going to come out at about 2%.
Yeah.
So you're not going to find anything in the 1.4s, 1.5s,
No.
at minimum 2%. And truthfully, it's going to be a little bit more than that because of muds and pits.
Yeah.
I don't know of hardly any neighborhoods up here that don't have.
No, and I we probably spend more time on a video just for muds and pits.
We should.
But I'll tell you the anything new development wise, it is just more. It doesn't sound like it because it sounds like you're paying so much more in property taxes.
Right.
But overall, as opposed to it being your land value and the home values being another 50, 60, 70,000, they put it into a bond that's repayable through capture tax, but you're not paying interest on it that way.
Right.
Not interest like you would at 4%, 5%, 6%.
Well, and I think the interesting perspective you have on that, and I have, like, is you get to sit in those rooms with some of the VPs and senior of builders. And one of the things they always talk about is what the cost of land acquisition, right? And unfortunately, that's why we're seeing pricing. I mean, so like if we go back and look, it's super interesting to look at, like, if I pull up the trends of how pricing has moved in just Celina, right? Like if you'd have been in Celina pre 2020, you're going to make a ton of money right now. So before I get there, I'm going to let you guess. So I'm going to go just new construction because that's all we really talk about, and we do a lot of business in that space. What do you think, before I go down there and show you, median average sales price in Celina for new construction was, before I pull it up on the
In 2020?
No, like for this year. And then
This year?
I could probably go all the way back to, so we'll start in let's see if I can go back to 2020.
I know it's higher, but I would say average, man, it feels like it has to be like 450. But
Okay.
I'll bet it's
So look at that. So like median new construction sales price in October of 2020 was 380.
hey.
As of when we recorded this video, median is 575.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I believe that.
that's crazy.
It is. It is. And a lot of it is driven by land is it's not infinite. There is only so much land available.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when we moved from Utah
Really? Yeah.
to Texas 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing my wife noticed were how close the houses are together in a lot of the areas as you go from Dallas and get out. And she was like, "Man, why are the houses on a quarter acre lot or maybe a third acre,
About a quarter of an acre.
And I was like, because if every house was on an acre,
Mm-hmm.
Frisco would be Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If we just looked and put every house from Dallas out on an acre, and Frisco would be Oklahoma. So I'm like, you've got to keep it together to keep all the stuff.
Well, and now, and especially in some of these high growth areas, you're not finding, I mean, it's mostly 40s and 50-foot lots, which is hard, right? Like that's a hard pill to stomach at some of the pricing we're seeing, especially. So like, but it's also, I mean, again, look at the growth. And I will say, when we sell in Celina, one of the reasons I like people buying in Celina is the inspection process with the city is probably one of the most thorough cities for good and for bad, right? Like it kind of holds up some things in some places and bottlenecks because they don't have they haven't staffed to the growth that they have. But it's also one of the cities that's the most strict on what builders can and can't do, which I think also ends up driving value because you end up with some really good, in most places, build quality homes.
I agree.
And so we're seeing that months supply. This is like, and I'm looking again just at new construction. This is if everything's sold, like September, builders are sitting on 7 months of supply in Celina. So in theory, what does that mean, right? So on one hand, you've got a ton of options, but on the other hand, you might have too many options.
Yeah.
Right. But also, as you watch this, and this video is going to live in, somebody's going to see this outside of the end of 2025, but you sit on the mortgage side, I sit on the real estate side. As you see builder inventory creep up, and as we get toward the end of the year, that's kind of when we start to see builders get a little aggressive, more aggressive on getting sales done, right? Because they're trying to get them off the books.
Yeah. So, when you look at new construction and 7 months worth of inventory,
Yeah.
most builders, even if they cash flow positive or don't take loans out, they're still sitting on homes that have a holding cost, whether they're paying the taxes, whether they're
Correct.
paying the insurance. And they've all built homes on a specific margin. But as those holding costs start to creep into those margins, or they start to have more homes that are coming up, or like you said, 7 months and it's competition.
Yeah.
They want to sell those. So they get very creative. Some builders have their fiscal years end in September. Some are calendar based. So they're going to be December. But the next 3 months, if you're in the market, even if you're not, it's the right time to start.
Well, and even to me, like, I feel like the best people in the market right now are the ones that we don't have to sell your home on the resale side, right? And I know we've talked before, you guys have incredible products about, like, we can bridge loans one way if we have to, but we know the resale market is kind of gridlocked at this point.
Yeah.
For lack of a better conversation on it. And so seeing, like, the clients I feel like that are winning the most are the ones that are like, hey, we don't have to sell it and we're in a rental. It comes up at the end of the year. We can look at inventory, and those are where we're finding those really, really good deals in markets that you might not otherwise be able to find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I agree. And I think a lot of that is, again, driven by the new construction.
Yeah.
So, you could attest to this. If you have a home to sell,
Yep.
the equity in there is yours. You want that. You need it for the next home you move into. But a builder can say, hey, we're gonna pay $20,000 worth of costs for closing rate, but an individual homeowner can do that. So,
well, and the hard part that I see right now is so many. Here's what I feel like: 2020, 21, 22, when rates tanked, right? And so everybody refied. But not only did they refi, they did a cash out refi to pay for the pool, pay for their kids to go to college, pay off all their debt. And so they ate every bit of their equity. And so now on the resale side, they don't have it, right? It's already been used.
Yeah.
And now they have to figure out how to price aggressively to get that home sold. And it is a very difficult challenge.
yeah.
Especially if you're trying to sell in a market like this where there is, I mean, so if I go and look just out of curiosity, that's, if we look, so number of homes, there's 469 active, just new construction homes on the market.
Yeah.
And which we know that number is probably higher because not every builder gets every piece of inventory on MLS.
Yeah.
So if
and some are 60 days out from being
Correct.
complete as well.
Yeah. And so let's, what do you want to do? Do you want to look at some inventory, or do you want to look at, you've got a really cool calculator on your website that I love about affordability.
Yeah.
Right. So let's let's do this. So let's find a house, and then let's see what it would cost to, like, let's look at a payment and see kind of what it would take to afford that home. So let's just take a look. The least expensive home in Celina, 323. I know who built this home. I'm going to let you guess. And then I'll give you this. It's one of the very big builders. You can't guess. You're not going to guess. Okay, that's fair. I'm not even going to click on.
I work with them all.
You work with them all. There are some that I don't really care to work with.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in their quality. So I'm just going to leave, and we're just not going to click on that one because I don't think it's going to be good.
Let's hit a median. So 2020 was 380. Right now we're 570. Let's say 4.25.
Let's find. Okay, so let's see, 440. Let's see. That's a Del Webb. You got to be over 55 to buy that one. So let's check this one. See who built it. This is a move-in ready home. Good deal. This is a 4.25. Check that out. It dropped. Look at that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about
end of the year,
right? So some people will look at this and be like, that house was overpriced to begin with. Some people will look at this and say, I'm getting a really good deal. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. I would say that they're probably getting a very good deal. Because a lot of builders, especially when there is a surplus of inventory and we're coming out of an inflated market, they are targeting affordability.
Yes.
And there's two sides to that. There is, hey, let's lower sales prices so people have some equity. You mentioned that a lot of people don't right now. And two, they're offering concessions to help buy interests and closing costs. so that the monthly payment is more affordable. So
Correct.
there's 2 parts to it. I
All
think
right.
you're right.
So this one at 441, let's just go to your calculator, right? So we want to do it on affordability, or do we want to do it on
Either.
let's do
Conventional.
let's go do the conventional. So it's 440. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna take a 30-year note. On average, we're gonna call that a 5% down payment. That's a conventional loan. Annual taxes we know are gonna be at least 2%. So that is, let's get it to 2.3. Call it 2.2 on a median. Or interest rate, I'm gonna speculate. Builders are doing anything from 4.99s to 5.25s or 3-2-1 buy. We got a couple builders right now doing like a 2-1 buy down. So let's speculate it at, let's go 5.125. And your mortgage insurance rate is going to be what?
Maybe keep going. You're probably about 0.3. Let's
Point-
go to 0.3.
0.3.
Somewhere there.
Come on, keep going. Right.
That assumes
Annual insurance.
slightly better than just, median credit.
Insurance is what? Probably $1,900 a
Yep.
year. Okay. So that house, in a good day, is going to cost you right about an estimate $3,300 a month. Right. $2,281 in principal and interest, $800 in taxes, which hurts. Insurance, PMI. So when you call me and you're like, Zach, I want the big house for, I want 2,900 square feet. I want 4 bed, I want 3 bath, and I want it for $2,200 a month. I'm not going to laugh at you,
You're not buying Celina.
but you're not buying it. So
No.
you're going to have to buy somewhere else. Right. So 3352. So here's the interest. Let's take that number, and because I think so many people, like, let's reverse it even further and let's go to the monthly affordability.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just say, let's assume that's $120,000, right?
Yep. $10,000 a month.
$10,000 a month. Cool. With a monthly debt of $700. This is, car
All
payments.
this is everything. Yeah. Let's say, and I'll tell you,
What you look at a lot of loan files.
we're gonna
What do you see?
we're gonna say it's higher than that. Most people have 1 or 2 car payments that are $500. Dude, some of them are even higher. So call it $1,000 for a car payment. You're gonna have $300-400 for your credit cards.
Okay, so 1,500 in monthly debt.
I would say that's probably about right.
Oh, that hurts.
I would say that's about right.
Okay, so down payment.
All right, and still have student loans too.
Oh, and y'all got to calculate those, right?
We do.
Okay, so you don't. So that's crazy. Like, you make $120,000 and you can't qualify.
You barely make it.
You don't like that at 441. That math doesn't math.
It's close.
It's close.
37, you're good because the monthly payment. You change the interest rate a little bit, but you were at 33 for the conventional. So
That's a 379
mortgage payment.
No, that's
It's purchase price. You're
yeah,
right.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
your purchase price. You're right. Yeah.
So okay, so to afford that house, you've got to, with those same scenarios, you got to make an extra. You can make $130,000 in household income.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
See,
Or have a little bit fewer monthly debts, but I'll tell you, $1,500 a month.
that's average what you're seeing as y'all look at loans right
I
now.
think that's probably below average, man. But I would say, $1,500 for a car, credit card, student loans. Yeah.
Or you got to get some more money in the bank here to do a down payment. So
Yeah.
130,000, which sounds like a lot, but in a 2-income household, that could be very attainable. But if you're wanting to be up in Celina, I mean, this is an average home, right? So we could go to the top end, because one of my favorite I have 2 favorite neighborhoods up here in Celina, and they're Highland neighborhoods. They've got a new one coming that we got to go check out. But this one right here is Mustang Lake. So this is my like granddaddy. Like, you're gonna spend a ton of money here, but this also gets you into Prosper ISD. It's got Celina school or Celina address, but Prosper ISD. But this one over here, Mosaic this neighborhood has a lazy river.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That's cool.
But looking, obviously, you're going to spend, on a 60-foot home site. Let's just see what's out there. I don't know. They're not selling those. We got anything inventory wise. There we go. So at 817. So let's just say this is your house. You want to buy this one. Let's go back and do our calculator and see. I mean, you could probably tell me what it's going to need to make. So 817, 1, 2, 3, same 5% down, right? You have to do a little more.
You have to do a little bit more. Maybe
7?
10. And make it 10.
Yeah, okay. $81,000 down.
Yep.
Same. Your monthly payment is almost $6,000 a month. So monthly payment almost 6,000. So that means we probably need not quite 230. Probably what, 180?
Yeah.
Oh, 100. Man,
You're pretty close. No,
Yeah.
you were pretty close. Yeah.
200. Yeah, I mean somewhere between 180 and 200 household income. So Celina is a growing area. There's a ton of opportunity. It's still got that small town feel to it in a lot of spaces, like as you drive through here. The other thing we were talking about traffic, and we'll get back to that, but it's not, it is, how do we say it? It's not affordable, but it is quickly becoming, is quickly growing in price.
Yeah. It is.
Very,
It is. Just like anything where you've got a high demand. High
yes.
demand is going to drive for a higher price.
Yeah. I will say as we wrap up, the traffic thing. So this is, we know the DNT stops basically right here, Dallas North Tollway, right here. At some point, because every time I drive, the construction is continuing the DNT.
It is.
But until the construction is done, that traffic is not like, so bisecting East and West Celina is not ideal, especially trying to cross this. Eventually, the DNT will continue probably all the way up to almost Oklahoma, and it's going to wrap around in the outer loop, which I am super excited about.
Wow.
Because that outer loop is going to connect down here from like Rockwall, Royce City area, all the way up through Collin County, and then come back in and to bypass all of this, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting as we kind of wrap this up. Like if you were in Dallas 30 years ago, you were buying, I mean, just look at the map. You were buying here. This is where the money was made.
Oh yeah.
Right. And now like it's just like widen the circle again. And it's like, this is where the money is going to be made. Like,
Oh yeah.
buying in here. We're also seeing, so in a lot of these places, I think a lot of people are, there's a lot going on the resale market because I think people, and I want to wrap up with this thought because you're in the mortgage space. People didn't have a full understanding of what their property taxes were going to be, right? This is a pet peeve of mine. Some mortgage lenders for other builders that aren't you, set up accounts when they build these houses. And I don't want to say they lie to people about their property taxes, but they don't give them the full truth, right?
Yeah.
They evaluate taxes based on the land because that's how the county does it. And they fail to tell them, hey, your property taxes are going to go up, right? So you guys, y'all do that a little bit differently in your process. Y'all are kind of trying to set a right expectation and so that we don't have skyrocketing payments, correct?
Correct. So typically, I shouldn't even say typically, you should be qualifying buyers for a home on their ability to repay.
Yes.
That includes the property taxes, homeowners insurance,
Yes.
mortgage insurance if it's there, even the HOA.
Yeah.
And that means that the full taxes should be accounted for. And I like to believe that all mortgage companies probably go through the approval process that way, and they can afford those payments.
Yep.
But when they go to close, there's the option of, hey, do you want to close with where we know the taxes are going to be or where
Right.
they are today?
Yep.
And in new construction, it's like you said, it is just the land. It's just the value because they haven't assessed the value of the structures yet.
Yep.
And that can lead to a lot of unsettling payments and a roller coaster because, the following year, you're going to have to make up for a shortage the previous year,
Yep.
which doubles the increase. And then another year after that, it's going to come back down. It's an up and down for probably 2 or 3 years.
Which is why it is so important. Like if you're going to buy new construction, you get with an agent that understands that. And B, you use the lender that can articulate those things and set you up for success long-term.
Oh,
right. Again, you guys don't know exactly what it's going to be, but you can at least, you need to be evaluating like there's a structure that you're paying taxes on. Because if not, you're going to end up in trouble, which I think is what a lot of people in like looking at the resale market in Celina and Prosper, that's why there's so much hitting that market for sale is because those taxes jumped astronomically on them and they can't make those payments.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll give you one more and we'll wrap up in Celina. So another favorite builder of mine. So I looked at the Highland stuff. I love Mosaic. I think it's a great neighborhood, but again, probably unattainable for a lot of people. Another favorite builder we do a lot of business with, Jared does a lot of business with, is Pacesetter.
Mhm.
Got a couple different things. So this neighborhood is interesting. I was actually out here a couple weeks ago checking it out. some really, really cool stuff going on in Creekview. It's technically a Pilot Point address. But it's Celina Schools. I will tell you, the one detractor, just to be open and honest, is the tax rate. It was like 2.8%.
Yeah.
It's like, that hurts.
It's a lot.
That hurts. Sutton Fields, I don't think their tax rate is nearly as high, is it? But it's a little bit higher pricing.
It's a little bit higher pricing, but because you have, again, the tax rate's a little bit lower, and even if there's a PID out there, the overall taxes you pay are a little bit lower. So that for the same home with the same payment, if a larger portion of that is going towards taxes, less of it go towards principal and interest. So you get a little bit lower valued or sales price on your home. So Sutton Fields has been really good.
And then, of course, again, we keep seeing builders pop this stuff up, and I love it. I'm like, guys, keep doing it. But I will tell you, from a marketing standpoint, because I had somebody ask me, they're like, hey, so I found this house in their neighborhood and it's listed at $550, so we're going to get it for $450, right? And I'm like, no, we gotta read the read the fine print here, where it's like up to about 100,000 and already reduced pricing. But this to me is the sweet spot when builders are doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's hundreds of dollars a month in savings.
And it's dollars that they've committed to spend to buy interest rates down to an affordable price for people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask your opinion? You know, I mean, you may tell me you don't want to answer. If you had to pick one of these two,
Closing costs.
Really,
100%.
you would go here.
Always.
Why? Because I would answer the same way, and
it's the same dollars.
Yep.
So builders are pretty smart. They're like, hey, we're going to give people choice. We want them to make the decision, but ultimately to them, both of those are within $200 the same.
Correct.
So if somebody came to me, if you came to me and said, hey, I've got $10,000, I'm going to give it to you all right now, or I'm going to hold it and just give you a little bit at a time over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say, give me a little bit. They're going to say, give it to me all. And that's why, if you look at people who win the lottery, who takes it out in
I want it all.
Even though it's like 10% of what you win, they want it all.
Well, it's
Everybody wants it today.
why that stinking the structured annuity commercial, the JG went like their stupid jingle. You know the one is like, it's my money and I need it now. It's like, that's why they make some, it's because they get people out. So take the 100%. Money on the front end versus. Because this is
my opinion.
Yeah, no, I have the same thing. I just wanted to, in some ways validate my opinion.
Yes. Well, and not only that too, but like you said, you don't want to get into a position where even though there's disclosures and everything goes with it, and it's a subsidized payment, you're still 4.9, but they pay the first portion of your payment.
Yep.
In a year when it goes up, if you haven't planned for it, it's an unexpected change.
Correct.
And then it goes up again the following year.
But I will say, when you see this 4.9, that is a lock for the life of the loan. So I get people in my comments all the time that they're like, these are adjustable rates. I'm like, this is not anything like that. This is builders are fronting lots of money. I mean, some of these builders are spending tens of millions of dollars with companies like yours to buy rates like this, right? And buy them in bulk spreads to be able to make homes as affordable as they can and be aggressive in moving houses. Yeah. And that is part of why I keep trying to tell people, like, if you're moving or you're here in DFW and you're trying to get in, like, new construction is the way to go, because
I think so.
Because no seller can afford the cost of it. No individual can afford to give you that. The builders can. So we love Celina. I think there's a lot of
opportunity
and a lot of growth up there. I hate the traffic every time I go up there, but I hate the traffic everywhere.
Just go north and south. Don't go east and west.
But even then, north and south is hard. So good place to be if you want to be in Celina. We have plenty of opportunities to help you with that. If you have lending questions, Jared's contact information is down below. If you have, hey, I want to buy a house questions, my contact information is down below. We appreciate you guys hanging out and talking with us through all this fun stuff. Hope it was helpful, valuable, and I can't wait to continue to do more of these with you, because I think we've got a whole litany of things to cover in DFW. So this is going to be fun.
Cool.
Good. Thanks, sir. All right.